This past weekend, I went to the IMEX show. This was in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. It was called the International Monetary Expo. The people in town were trying to create the first new major coin show in over 3 decades, and so they used the brand new Nashville Convention Center. I am a foreign coin dealer, so I wanted to go and check it out. And so from a low dollar foreign coin perspective, I wanted to tell you my thoughts of what I got there and also show off a little bit of the swag that I picked up. Before I get any further, I almost hate to do this because I know how much we don't like it when other big name coin channels spend the whole time talking about whatnot. But if you do want to buy some coins from me, from that I've featured in previous videos, I've got a link to my eBay store below. I may or may not have something to sell, and that's all I'll say about that. So, going to the show, it there are parking spaces underneath the convention center that are $10. I almost, well, I work 10 minutes away walking. And so I was going to drive to my office, park for free, and then walk the 10 minutes. I even practiced it last week. But since there was about a 20% chance of rain, I thought I'd just pay the $10 and park there. Then it was another $10 to get into the show. But I had a postcard that had come in the mail. If you had gone to their website, IMEX show or IMEX.show, that's the website, no .com or anything, it's .show, IMEX.show, and signed up for their mailing list, they sent you a postcard with a details of the show. And if you brought in the postcard, they would give you something. And so that's what this is here. One of the sponsors was PCGS, so they took a Tennessee quarter and put it in a PCGS flip. This is not really graded. They probably just had several rolls of Tennessee quarters or maybe a big cloth bag of these and just opened them up and threw them in a slab without really giving them a grade. There's the Tennessee quarter design. It makes for a cool souvenir. I'm not someone that collects slabbed coins, but this one is kind of neat. I don't know much about grading coins either, so I'm guessing that if they're saying choice uncirculated, then that means that they're not really going to the effort of grading it, because they probably made hundreds, if not thousands, of these to give away. And so it's got the just essentially this was graded for the IMEX show, the International Money Expo. So again, it's kind of a neat piece, something I'll add to my collection. It's Tennessee, so I think that's pretty cool. And so then we'll look at some of the other stuff that I picked up. It's been a while since I've picked up a Silver Eagle, one of these the American 1 ounce coins. Mostly because the difference in spot price between a silver ounce and the cost for a bullion round has gone up a lot since 2020. I remember back the days when the difference in price was about $2 to $3. Now they tends to be 7 to 8. Well, this time they're selling these for $28 and spot was about 22. So 6 over premium is the first one I've picked up with the brand new design. I just been waiting to get one until I found one that where the spot price wasn't that different. So ounce of silver, $28, spot was 22. Now I can say I've got one now, so I'm pretty happy about that. Now, as far as coin dealers go, my favorite booths are the ones that have 4 for $1 coins. And sometimes at the bigger shows, you don't really see much of that. And so I was thankful that there were a couple. There was one dealer that had 5 for $1. I got $4 worth in this bag. That'll be a future video. There was another dealer that had prices weren't as good, but the selection here was really good. It was listed 25 for $10. This is 40 coins, and I paid $15 for this. So again, this is going to be the subject of a future video. Then I'll also mention that guy had the most traffic at his booth than for anyone that I saw. There was, every time I walked by, there was one, maybe two people trying to dig through the foreign coin bin. So I was really happy to see that. If other people see that, maybe more people will bring their foreign coins to a show like this. There were a couple of dealers that I looked through that just had things overpriced, and even if the coins I wanted, I might find a coin that I wanted for $5, but if I found it, I almost thought that everything else he's got's overpriced. I would probably be paying too much for this from this guy. So there were a couple of dealers that had good stuff that I just wasn't going to buy anything. There were a couple other dealers that had a little bit of foreign stuff that I did think was a good price. We're going to get to a video where I got 4 coins here. Got this bad boy right here from 290 years old, 1731. I just have to look up and figure out what that is. It is from France, but that was from a dealer. These 3 silver coins right here were from a dealer. So um, there's 8 coins right there that's going to appear in its own video. The U.S. Mint was there, and so I got a little bit of swag from the U.S. Mint. First off, let's go ahead and never heard of these people, but West Coast Coins was there. I got a pen from them. Let's see, these people are CDN Exchange. Not sure who they are, but thought it was a pen. It's got one of those where it's got the little tablet touch on it, and that's not a pen. That's a flashlight right there. So not sure if I like that more or less, but hey, it's something. So the U.S. Mint was there. I like these. They had these for free. It was just for the American Women Quarters. It was a cardboard holder for the 5 coins this year. I've got the first 3 of these, and I really do like the designs on these coins, and to find them in pocket change. I think that's neat, and they even say that you can't buy these, not for sale, so not for resale. So that's a neat thing to have, and I look forward to finishing that off. They had for the kids out there, they had a coin coloring book, and so got a colored version of the Bessie Coleman quarter right here, and I think that's kind of a neat thing on here. So just I don't know if my 9-year-old still does pick up coloring books every so often, and so it's neat to talk to go over it here. There's the Eleanor Roosevelt quarter. Come to think of it, I guess I don't have the Eleanor Roosevelt quarter, but I do have the Bessie Coleman. I don't have the Jovita Adar quarter yet. So I thought this was pretty fun to kind of fun item here for the kids, and so I thought that was kind of neat. Let's see, I got myself a U.S. Mint pencil and U.S. Mint mints, box of mints right here. So I think that's kind of funny. Also had pretty much all the brochures of the current products. So they're talking about the next year's Harriet Tubman collection. Here's this year's American Women Quarters, next year's. Oh, so this is just more of a brochure for children again. Next year they've got some Greatest Generation coins. Neat to see that. And then here is the most recent catalog. I'm kind of surprised I haven't gotten that in the mail recently. So that was neat. 4 different grading companies were there. I don't think they were really giving away swag unless you were actually having something graded. Greysheet was there, and so I don't purchase Greysheet because I don't need to know up to the minute prices on all of the U.S. coins, since I don't focus on U.S. coins. But for free, they were giving away copies of the most recent magazine. So now I have one, and so I guess with the kind of stuff that I would purchase, if I do purchase something, prices aren't going to fluctuate that much. And so this is a current issue. I mean, it's today is October 30th or 29th, and so this I guess this is still current. Maybe this is the last issue, and they make them 3 months in advance or something. But I've got one of these, and it pretty much is just prices on all the US coins. I've never owned one before. I'm not really sure what this one was. The Rare Coin Market Review, specifically to CAC grading, maybe. So another Greysheet publication. This is the next issue for November. So I know this is probably going to publish this video in the first couple of days of November, but people would pay $15 for this. And again, it's just prices of graded coins, maybe specifically the CAC coins. So I'd never seen that before. Also got this Greysheet bottle opener shaped like a guitar. That's perfect for Nashville since we have guitars on everything. And then also a Greysheet shot glass, which is kind of an interesting little thing to pull up because don't drink anything that would require drinking from a shot glass. But hey, it's kind of neat. And um, so there it is. Things I picked up from the show. We've got some future videos going to come from this material. The Tennessee State Numismatic Show, which I probably enjoy a little bit more, that's going to be in Chattanooga. That's going to be next weekend, November 10th and 11th in East Ridge, Tennessee. So you just need to Google TSNS Coin Show to learn more about that. They have 2 shows a year, one in November. I think the other one's in March. So twice a year. So that coin show is coming up. So yeah, just lots of neat things happening here recently. So let me pause for a moment, see if I have any other last thoughts before I go here. I really didn't know what to expect because most coin dealers aren't going to have anything foreign. And so these booths cost a lot more than your typical coin show. I think people are paying hundreds of dollars for these booths. And I always find it interesting where a dealer will show up with about 10 gold coins underneath a case, all graded, and that's all they've got. And they could sell one and probably pay for their time there. You would think that, a lot of these people aren't going to deal with low-end stuff like what I'm interested in. So I think that's kind of interesting to see that. There were PCGS was there, CAC was there, IMEX was there, so different grading services, someone else, Heritage Auctions, another auction company. I like seeing the Heritage Auction booth because they had live streaming cameras just to make sure that no one was going to, I guess, hop over their tables and steal stuff. So that was kind of interesting. There was a keynote speaker of Steve Forbes. He was there selling autographed copies of his new book, which I don't really read books on finance like that, macroeconomics or anything like that. I used to be kind of interested in topics like that, but not really anymore. But he had helped, at least he claims that he helped the local Tennessee legislature pass a law last year to remove all sales tax from coin and bullion purchases in the state of Tennessee, which is fantastic, I think, because at least it's fantastic if you're someone who purchases coins like I do. That means I can go to my favorite coin shop and never have to pay sales tax on anything, which is great. Maybe if I didn't collect coins, I would hate that. But it was neat that they passed that Tennessee, and Steve Forbes is taking credit for it. I don't know if he was responsible or not for that. There was an Abraham Lincoln impersonator who I guess you could pay to take photos with a fake Abraham Lincoln. So that was someone else who was there. There were some of those foreign silver coin dealers that have those, what I would consider to be the overpriced collectible coins from other countries where like Niue or I'm drawing a blank on some of those coins that have other countries' names on them, but they're really like collectibles. They'll have Simpsons, Star Wars, Coca-Cola, fancy coins and fancy packaging, uh, 1 ounce coins that they are charging, $200 for. I don't really consider those foreign coins. I think the coins meant for circulation are a lot more interesting than some of those other coins. But hey, it's something else that I guess coins like that might be bringing in younger people into the hobby, or at least the silver stackers tend to be younger people from at least what I see. So maybe that's good for the hobby. There was a company selling coins that if you augmented reality coins, which is something that was new to me. Coin insurance was something there. They had a some swag that had golf tees out of it. And I thought that was kind of an unusual item. And then just fancy silver coins. And I didn't know any of the dealers there. Well, I did know Littleton Coin, and they didn't actually look like they were selling much of anything. I saw a couple of guys sitting at their booth, and they weren't really doing a whole lot. They didn't have a big table worth of stuff out for sale, and if they did, I wonder if they're just selling like their subscription service or something. I mean, I've always seen the ads in the newspapers to get all of the state quarters for like $15 or something like that, and I've been tempted to do that and then immediately cancel the service, like we used to do with the CD clubs or the record album clubs in the 70s through 90s. And but otherwise they would sell stuff that it isn't really worth it to people. So just kind of thought it was interesting that they were there. I wonder how it feels like to be one of their salespeople when to go to a serious coin show like that, where they're usually targeting people that aren't that familiar with the coins. So that's something that I just think it's yeah, kind of funny that they were there. The U.S. Mint was selling things that appear in their catalog. Um, they had them all behind display cases. They had armed security there just to make sure you weren't going to try and steal any of their gold coins or anything. So it's kind of good to have a little bit of a police presence there. I was kind of surprised that they weren't checking bags, so you could just walk in like that. But it's neat to see some of these like these large, uh, I guess, bronze medallions that were big as a grapefruit. I suppose they did have silver proof sets. They had uh, these ornaments. Not sure I'd want to pay $35 for them, but so I didn't. Definitely had the modern Peace and Morgan dollars behind the case. My grandfather was a big fan of Jesse Owens. That's kind of neat. They did have both of these Obama and Trump medallions about that big, I guess. So if I'd known that they were only $20, maybe I would have purchased stuff like that. Maybe one for the JFK ones. Another interesting thing, seeing some of these military things here, there was a neat display piece from a military museum which was there, where apparently there was a U.S. military general during the days of World War II collected paper money that he had picked up from different countries that he visited during the war, had them autographed by other U.S. generals, and then taped them all together for a 100-foot long display piece. And so this I guess you'd call it a piece of history, was just laying out there. You could touch it, although I felt kind of nervous touching something like that. I mean, I guess it didn't need its own armed security or anything like that, but there was a guy there watching. But yeah, that was neat. It just was on a really long table with some display cards, and it was just kind of wrapped around quite a bit. But to see things like that, that was neat to look at. There was a museum of American monetary history, I think, and they didn't really have a whole lot that I thought was that interesting. But maybe you would. I think the most interesting thing was a couple of vintage stock certificates, which I've bought some of things like that off of eBay in the past, like the railroad ones. I think are some of my favorite. I think it was one of them was Standard Oil, perhaps, and so neat things to look at. There's always going to be some things that you've never seen before at a place like this, such as proof Morgan dollars that were still in the mint packaging, and those were graded. I didn't know that was such a thing. I'd seen them in my catalog that they existed, but to see one and it be graded where the PCGS packaging contained the entire mint packaging with the coin in the middle of it and a mint token to go along with it. So those were pretty expensive. There were some silver bullion coins that were made out of silver recovered from the World Trade Center, and so that was kind of a sobering piece, but it was also more than I would have wanted to pay for it. But they were graded in such a way to prove that it was what they said it was, and they were asking a little over $200 for those. So just some of the stuff that I was able to see at a convention like this are made it very interesting. We'll see if it did well enough for them to do this in the future. I think they were hoping, since they were calling it the International Money Expo, I think they were hoping that mints from other countries would be there in addition to the U.S. Mint. I would have loved to see the Royal Canadian Mint and purchase some things from them. Maybe Franklin Mint or the UK Mint, things like that. That would have been neat. Well, I think I've rambled long enough sharing my thoughts on this show. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.